Hi again, class. This is the video for lesson 70. This won't be very long. There are some rules for addition of signed numbers. This is related to lesson 69. I want to review absolute value. If you recall, absolute value is the value of any number, positive value of any number, positive or negative. It indicates the distance from the origin, from the zero on the number line, whether to the left or to the right, just the value of the distance without the sign. So I'm going to just review. The absolute value function is indicated by two straight lines around a number. The absolute value of -5 is 5. Absolute value of 5 is 5. The absolute value of -30 is 30. Hopefully you get the idea. Negative or positive, the absolute value of any number is the positive value of that number. Okay. So now that I've reviewed that, they want to go over some rules for addition of signed numbers to avoid any confusion. When you are adding two numbers with different signs, such as here, we have a negative and a positive. When you are adding two numbers with different signs, the answer is the difference between the two. So what is the difference between 5 and 3? Let's take the smaller number and subtract it from the larger. That's 5 minus 3, that's 2. It's the value of the difference, and the sign of the answer is the same as the sign of the larger number. The larger number is positive, so our answer is positive. Let's look at example 2. Once again, the answer, when you are adding two numbers whose signs are different, the answer is the difference between the two numbers. Again, that's 2. And the sign of that number is the sign of the larger number. Now this time the larger number is 5. And that's a negative. When you are adding numbers, such as in examples 3 and 4, whose signs are the same, the answer is the absolute value of the addition of the two numbers. Okay, so what's the absolute value of -3 and -5? I hate when that happens. Is 3. The absolute value of -5 is 5. So the answer when you're adding numbers whose signs are the same is the absolute value of the addition of the two numbers as well as the sign of the two numbers. If we look at positive 3 and 5, you already know that the answer is 8. Does it follow the rules? The addition of two numbers whose signs are the same is the absolute value. Let's just apply this complicated rule to a simple addition problem. Absolute value of 3 is 3. The absolute value of 5 is 5. That's 8. And then the sign of our answer is the same as the signs of the two numbers. And our numbers are both positive. So my answer 8 is positive. So indeed, 3 plus 5 is 8. And -3 plus -5 is -8. All right. So those are the rules. What they're going to have you do in the lesson here is they're going to have you sort of mentally visualize some addition of signed numbers using a number line, and then write down your answer. They won't require you to graph it, but they'll want you to mentally visualize it, which is what I teach my kids to do anyway when they're adding signed numbers, for those kids who still get confused. So for example, if we're adding -1 plus 5 plus -3, without drawing a number line, they want you to picture the number line and visualize starting at the -1. Well, you could start at 0 and head to the -1. So this would be our first. And then you would visualize going forward 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the positive 4. So that's plus 5, -1. And then you're going to visualize going back 3 in the negative direction. And that's here to 1. So they want to picture, you make a visually picture a number line in your head and sort of bounce back and forth with the negatives and the positives that you're adding. It helps you to clarify in your head if you're doing the right thing. So let's see. We go -1, positive 5, -3, and we end up at 1. That would be our answer, positive 1. Okay. That was a little sloppy. Let's try that again. If you get the idea, you can go ahead and start your problem set. I'm just going to do this one more time. -7 plus 3 plus -9. Let's see where that takes us. All right, I'm picturing this number line here. I'm seeing it in my mind's eye. I'm starting at 0 and I'm going to -7. It's my first stop. I'm going to go in the positive direction, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. Right here, that's +3. And then I'm going to go in the negative direction, 9. Okay, I didn't draw a long enough number line. So I am now at -4. I've got a picture heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where does that get me? -4. That gets me to -13. This would be -13. But if you're visualizing it in your head, it's a lot simpler. Okay, and that will be in your exercises, in your practice problems for this lesson. Okay, I think they'll have simpler numbers for you. Okay, signing off.